One of the oldest development assistance organizations in the world, the Colombo Plan has been responding to critical human resource gaps and development and technical needs in Asia since its establishment. Drawing on over 7 decades of experience, the Colombo Plan today works across continents, providing a range of assistance delivery services. The Colombo Plan's story is one of remarkable trailblazing, punctuated with great achievements, as well as trials and tribulations, which have equally strengthened our commitment to serve those who need our assistance the most. While we consider it a privilege to have been able to continue our portfolio of assistance delivery interventions and programs over 7 decades, the 72nd anniversary presents itself as an opportune moment to reflect on our journey so far. The idea for the setting up of the Colombo Plan was conceived during the Commonwealth Foreign Ministers meeting held in January 1950 in Colombo, Sri Lanka. As founding members, Australia, Canada, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the United Kingdom sought to formalize North to South cooperation within the Commonwealth framework by mobilizing developed countries to provide technical and financial assistance to developing nations in Asia. Subsequently, a consultative committee set up to steer this nascent arrangement forward, established in May 1950, the Colombo Plan Council for Technical Cooperation in South and Southeast Asia. 3 consultative committee meetings later, in July 1951, the Colombo Plan for Cooperative Economic Development in South and Southeast Asia was instituted to operationalize the newly devised regional intergovernmental framework for economic and social advancement of the people in Asia. The topmost tier of the Colombo Plan's leadership, the Consultative Committee, is representative of all member governments and functions as the principal policymaking, review, and deliberative body of the Colombo Plan. Perched at the second layer of the leadership rung, the Colombo Plan Council oversees the implementation of the Consultative Committee's directives and recommends relevant measures for the Consultative Committee's consideration. Located in Sri Lanka's commercial capital Colombo, the Colombo Plan Secretariat assists the Council in the discharge of its functions and responsibilities while serving committees of the Council and providing administrative support to the programs implemented by the Colombo Plan. Later in 1951, the United States came forward as the first non-Commonwealth country to provide funding assistance for the implementation of the regional intergovernmental framework. And in 1954, Japan also joined as one of the principal donors, embodying the spirit of the organization, which recognizes the equality of all peoples and the right of all nations to progress ahead. Collaborating under the organization's motto, Planning Prosperity Together, currently, 28 member nations are driving the Colombo Plan's vision and mission forward. Membership of the Colombo Plan is open to all nations, and membership can be obtained through an application process. After renewing its operational timeframe periodically until then, at the 28th Consultative Committee meeting held in 1980 in Jakarta, the Colombo Plan's lifespan was extended indefinitely. Bilateral arrangements became the widely accepted modus operandi, with the Colombo Plan serving as an umbrella under which assistance provision in experts deployment, training facilities, and equipment were managed bilaterally by the governments immediately concerned.
Colombo Plan, much has changed, definitely. From a small group of Commonwealth countries cooperating to address the concerns of the aftermath of World War II at the time, we now have 28 member countries with various concerns. And we believe these 28 countries can better address the South-to-South concerns of individual communities. And we are trying to, hopefully we can diversify further the initiatives and the programs that these countries would require from Colombo Plan. I think there is a need to better communicate and the requirements of each of the member countries, as well as to involve other non-member countries in the activities of Colombo Plan.
In the first few decades, The Colombo Plan's development assistance contributed towards increasing education opportunities, improving basic healthcare services, supporting agricultural activities, ensuring better access to power and irrigation services, enhancing investment in transport and road infrastructure, revolutionizing and accelerating Asia's industrial growth, and building nuclear energy for peaceful means. These diverse and multiple assistance efforts were made possible by capital and technical aid provided by the 6 main donor countries of Australia, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In the first 2 decades alone, the region's 18 recipient countries received $32 billion in capital aid. One of the key features that distinguishes the Colombo Plan from other international aid organizations is the conducive environment the organization creates for all member countries to deliberate, reflect, and decide on their development needs and potential for bilateral cooperation as equals. This way, the member countries feel invited to take ownership of the design and plan of their own prosperity, helping shape a unique experiment in international cooperative effort for development. This level playing field has also encouraged member countries to become donors of capital investment and technical know-how to other member nations, chipping away at their inclination for dependency on the developed donor member countries. In the second quarter of 1994, an eminent persons group appointed by the Colombo Plan recommended South-to-South approach as a new future of the organization. Since then, the South-to-South cooperation model has underwritten all assistance delivery extended by the organization. The South-to-South cooperation model assists member countries with appropriate technologies and relevant development models through training aimed at uplifting standards of education, improving public governance, strategic planning, social development, being an enabler in entrepreneurship development, and policy interventions.
For the last few decades, we have focused on 4 flagship South-to-South programs. Our flagship program remains to be the Drug Advisory Program. And then we also have programs on gender affairs. And then we also implement environment and climate change initiatives. And then, of course, we are still pursuing our activities with our donor countries on other capacity building initiatives. And we believe that the South-to-South programs benefit those countries, especially with specific needs that would really impact the lives of the communities we are serving. And so we believe these South-to-South programs are beneficial to most of the recipients of these projects. And we have seen these models grow from the initial implementation that we have shared with our beneficiary countries to new models which we plan to also present on a bigger scale.
The Drug Advisory Program is the Colombo Plan's longest-running aid program, which has conducted holistic and multi-stakeholder activities aimed at drug demand and supply reduction. In 2023, the Drug Advisory Program marks 50 years of service, and over 80 countries in the world are currently receiving various drug demand and supply reduction-centric assistance. The Drug Advisory Program supports multi-pronged and systemic drug demand reduction interventions such as curriculum development, training on universal curricula, certification and credentialing to help develop a cadre of professionals with internationally recognized accreditation and help address the long-standing crisis of inadequate evidence-based programs and the lack of trained professionals for treatment and rehabilitation. Expert advisory services prioritize assistance to specific demographics such as women, youth and children, supply reduction, and assistance to international technology transfer centers. The role of our network of drug demand reduction focal points has been critical in carrying out interventions effectively in grassroots communities while adapting to the evolving contexts in member countries as well as the needs of the people we undertake to serve. The Drug Advisory Program's supply reduction-centric efforts have also been recognized for impacts made through innovative design and delivery. Unraveling the opioid overdose crisis and raising the alarm on toxic adulterants in the world drug supply are two areas where the program's supply reduction assistance has achieved outstanding results. Transferring various training curricula to online platforms has not only helped to expand the program to new places, but to also allow various individuals to build their capacities without being left out because of geographical and temporal constraints. The Drug Advisory Program's intersecting intervention efforts have witnessed encouraging and meaningful results in countries such as Afghanistan. An initiative to focus on gender-related activities started off in 2007 as part of the Drug Advisory Program to provide financial support to a transitional center in Kabul, which was managed by the Afghanistan Women's Skills Development Center. The expansion of support under this initiative saw the setting up of the Afghan Women's Shelter Fund in 2011. The Afghan Women's Shelter Fund's main role was to support and adhere to international obligations and national policies and legislation aimed at protection and care for survivors of gender-based violence and trafficking in persons. In 2014, this initiative evolved into what is now known as the Gender Affairs Program, which is recognized as a key component of the current portfolio of programs implemented by the Colombo Plan. The Gender Affairs Program also administered the Afghanistan Children's Support Center Fund, which delivered a series of assistance provision measures of alternative comprehensive care for children, such as a safe house for children of incarcerated mothers, nutritious food, clean water, physical and mental health, clothing, access to physical and mental health, and education. The Afghanistan Children's Support Center Fund also provided assistance measures for incarcerated women in livelihood, vocational skill development, and literacy and numeracy training. In delivering support assistance for women and children in marginalized communities, the Gender Affairs Program has partnered so far with Afghanistan, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam. The Program for Environment and Climate Change supports interventions and actions to address climate crisis and other critical environmental problems facing the planet. Under this program, the Colombo Plan collaborates with member governments in the implementation of long and short-term training courses on various environment-related topics, such as waste management, renewable energy, ecotourism, and climate change. This program also supports capacity-building initiatives organized by member countries, while strengthening networking and collaboration among members directed towards mitigation and adaptation to the implications of the climate crisis. Over the years, the Colombo Plan's investments in human resource development under the Capacity Building Program have strengthened the ability of member nations to consolidate and accelerate their own socio-economic development plans and programs. The Capacity Building Program provides opportunities for short-term trainings, workshops, community-based microcredit, and sufficiency in economic development, enhancing the development of small and medium industries, and master's degree programs in public policy and management. These activities are fully or partially funded on a cost-sharing basis by donors among the Colombo Plan member countries and other international organizations. With a renewed commitment to planning prosperity together, the Colombo Plan and its member nations are already making headway into the organization's strategic vision while enabling people in member countries and elsewhere to realize their true potential.